was one tragedy after another, after another, after another, after another, after another. Nobody came out on top in that show. Everybody. Oh, it was so sad, one thing after another. And these wonderful people, wonderful characters. And Father Ralph was an extraordinary character. He was so driven and so torn. Three ways. I mean, it's one thing to have your heart ripped apart in two directions, but his was in three directions. First of all, he loved God and had a genuine vocation. Secondly, he was enthralled by the power and glamour of the church. And thirdly, he really loved Meggie. It was soulmate love. It was real love. And when you're torn apart between love and God, for God's sake, it's really tough. And he was very attractive. So, as priests sometimes are. It's interesting, we had a technical advisor, a young Jesuit, who was the spitting image of Father Ralph. He was like a California surfer. Women fell down just looking at him. He was so attractive.
Welcome to our channel. Today we pay tribute to the legendary actor Richard Chamberlain, who passed away at the age of 90. Richard Chamberlain, renowned for his role in the 1960s TV series Dr. Kildare, passed away at the age of 90 from stroke complications in Waimanalo, Hawaii. Chamberlain, who became a heartthrob and teen idol through his portrayal of the compassionate Dr. Kildare, later gained acclaim as the king of the miniseries. They're starring in notable productions such as Centennial, Shogun, and The Thorn, which earned him Golden Globe Awards. Born George Richard Chamberlain on March 31, 1934, in Beverly Hills, California, he was the younger of two sons of Charles Chamberlain, a supermarket furnishing salesperson, and his wife, Elsa. He received a bachelor's degree in art history and painting at Pomona College in Claremont, California. During his freshman year, he joined a student theater group, and by graduation, he had decided to pursue an acting career. After 2 years in the army, stationed in Korea shortly after the Korean War, Chamberlain returned to California, took acting and voice classes, and found an agent. One of his first professional jobs was a 1959 guest appearance on the anthology television series Alfred Hitchcock Presents, in which Raymond Massey played his father. Soon after that, Massey approved him to play his medical colleague on Dr. Kildare. In 1961, Chamberlain began his run on Dr. Kildare. This starring role as a kind, caring physician made him a household name and won him a Golden Globe Award in 1963. His leading man good looks also opened the door to other parts. Chamberlain starred in the 1963 dramatic film Twilight of Honor and the 1965 relationship drama Joy in the Morning. Not long after Dr. Kildare ended in 1966, he moved to England, where he delved into theatrical work. Determined to shake his pretty boy image, Chamberlain trained as a serious actor in England. By 1969, he was playing Hamlet at the Birmingham Repertory Theatre and surprising the British critics, who called him assured, graceful, and plucky. Anyone who comes to this production to scoff at the sight of a popular American television actor, Richard Chamberlain playing Hamlet, will be in for a deep disappointment, a review in the Times of London declared. After 5 years, he returned to the United States and took on notable stage and screen roles. However, it was television, particularly the miniseries format, that restored his major star status. It began with a role as a Scottish trapper in the ensemble cast of the 12-part Centennial in 1978. For Chamberlain, the phenomenon hit full force when he played the dashing 17th-century romantic lead in Shogun in 1980, seducing a new generation of fans. He followed that in 1983 with his portrayal of Ralph de Cassart, the tortured young priest in the saga The Thorn, making him a 49-year-old sex symbol and the undeniable holder of the unofficial title, King of the Miniseries. Chamberlain received Emmy Award nominations for The Thorn and Shogun, as well as for Wallenberg, A Hero's Story, 1985, and The Count of Monte Cristo, 1975. He won 3 Golden Globes during his career for The Thorn, Shogun, and as Best Television Actor for Dr. Kildare in 1963. In 2003, Chamberlain published a memoir, Shattered Love. It was the story of his childhood, his career, and his personal struggle for enlightenment. One subject received most of the news media coverage, the acknowledgement that he was gay. He patiently answered interviewers' questions on the topic. The sort of double life I was leading seemed, after a while, part of the game, he said on the Today Show. You know, the performers, your public image is part of the show, really. After he became a full-time resident of Hawaii in 1990, Chamberlain began painting again and exhibit his work there. More than once, he described himself as a contented beach bum. In 2010, he announced that he would be moving back to Los Angeles and living apart from Martin Rabbit, the producer, writer and actor who was his companion of more than 30 years. However, before his death, Chamberlain and Rabbit had resumed living together in Hawaii. Rabbit is his only immediate survivor. When an interviewer for the Archive of American Television asked Chamberlain in 2010 how he wanted to be remembered, he laughed heartily and said, "I am not interested in being remembered." He was willing, however, to share his spiritual beliefs. "I'm positive that love exists," he said, "and is available to us all the time." He didn't mean the phenomenon of being in love, he insisted, but rather a vibration that is and is at our beck and call. Thank you for joining us in remembering the remarkable life and career of Richard